Hey, what's up guys? It is Mark Yoon, and today I'm bringing another hopefully exciting video. So we are continuing our lore series, and today's topic is no other than Boshido Mitsurugi. So without dilly-dallying too far, we're just going to jump right into the video. Thanks guys. Boshido Mitsurugi relied on his sword to see him through the turbulence of the Warring States period of his homeland. However, in the revolutionary introduction of the rifle, known as the Gashima from abroad, he felt his blade no longer up to scratch, and so departed for the foreign lands in search of Soul Edge. Alas, he returned empty-handed. While back in his mother country, he entered the tournament that saw him pitted against Tanegashima. This too ended in failure, when he was shot in his right shoulder. The event nevertheless inspired Mitsurugi, imbuing him with an insatiable thirst for knowledge about fighting techniques, and in time, he became a truly great warrior. All that remained now was getting his hands on a powerful weapon. Hearing rumors Soul Edge was in the hands of the new owner called Nightmare, Mitsurugi once again set out for foreign soil. On his journey, he heard of a word of a mysterious old gentleman, Edgemaster, said to have knowledge of Nightmare when their paths crossed. Mitsurugi was led on a wild goose chase, being lured to a place with no connection whatsoever to his mission. By that point, however, it was too late to do anything. Word reached him that Nightmare had already disappeared. Mitsurugi remained unperturbed, and threw himself and his sword into battles around the land to continue honing his skills. The old man's words about mastering the military arts always in the back of his mind. The samurai began to realize that what he really sought was combat against the very best. Mitsurugi was lured into a trap by Edgemaster, where he was confronted by Taki. After defeating her, the samurai was finally told by the ninja that he was tricked by Edgemaster, and was left with a note from the old man explaining his actions. During his journey, Mitsurugi came across Kilik and Maxi, mistaking the latter as a nunchaku wielder who wanted him dead. After a spar with the pirate, he apologized for the misunderstanding and warned the duo about Taki and her connections to Soul Edge. Mitsurugi found Geralt of Rivia, the Witcher, was about to open a gate and return home. The samurai lost but could not get a rematch from Geralt because the gate was about to open. Mitsurugi parted ways with the Witcher, asking for another fight if he ever should return. Libra of Soul. At the conclusion of his first quest for Soul Edge, Mitsurugi met the conduit in Indochina on his way back home, and the two traveled for a brief time before parting ways in Yangguang. A year later, Mitsurugi met the conduit again and faced Geralt, who was then transported from his world through an astral fissure. Mitsurugi faced the Witcher, but the match ended in a draw. Wanting a rematch, the samurai left the conduit to pursue Geralt. Mitsurugi enjoys fighting above all else, searching for worthy opponents far and wide to sharpen his skills, to the point where he would go as far as to search for the all-powerful weapon Soul Edge. Despite his impeccable skills with the sword, Mitsurugi's greatest weakness is not to his pride, but his lack of common sense and knowledge. He erroneously refers to Nightmare as the Knight of Mare, and Edgemaster leading him to a confrontation with Taki without realizing his true intentions. He also considers Geralt his greatest rival, as shown in the latter's Soul Chronicle and Libra of Soul. He desires to have a fated battle with the Witcher. His weapon style. Shishio. Mitsurugi decided to rethink his fighting style to combat the power of the Tanegashima. He arrived at the conclusion that he needed a new blade to fit his new style. Visiting many a swordsmith on his travels, the samurai tried out various swords until eventually he settled on Shishio. Though neither rare nor particularly unusual, the blade is relatively long and wide. It is sharp, weighty, and cuts the air cleanly, making it ideal for Mitsurugi's aggressive style. Tempo Kosai Ryokai. Mitsurugi calls his style Tempo Kosai Ryo. Unlike most fighters of the style, he has no desire to open a school and gather disciples to pass it on to. Rather, he is likely to use his skills simply as a means to help his services as a mercenary. Mitsurugi's style was developed naturally through countless hard-fought battles, and as such, it differs greatly from the more systematic styles. That being said, he constantly strove to improve his techniques as he searched for a weapon stronger than Tanegashima. This led him to favor moves that allow him to strike and move quickly when faced with projectile-firing weapons. It was likely that during this period of his life, Mitsurugi searched out battled opponents wielding a variety of different styles. In Japan, the Warring States period was in full swing, and rarely did anyone turn down a challenge once issued. Mitsurugi used this opportunity to learn from those he had defeated and make their techniques his own. Mitsurugi has been my main probably since Soul Calibur 3. Before that, it was Cervantes and Taki. After that, I kind of dropped Cervantes a little bit, though I'm still quite adept with him, and I moved on to Taki and Mitsurugi. Soul Calibur 6, as much as I love the game, is the first time I truly dropped Mitsurugi as my main, mainly because of the reversal edge system and how they incorporated the reversal edge into auto combo strings, such as basic combo strings and even advanced combo strings. You can have your combos broken and ultimately be found back at square one just because they auto-inputted reversal edge into that system, which is why I always said that reversal edge should be mapped towards R1 for everything and not automatically adjusted to be in the combo strings, because it's a purely defensive and parrying technique, so I don't understand why they would put that in the combo strings anyway. With that being said, I tend to use Haomaru more than Mitsurugi these days, mainly because of the fact that the reversal edge is not encoded into his combo strings. But Mitsurugi does still qualify with me as one of my top players that I use, mainly because of his slashing abilities, the length of his sword. He has a lot of circular emotive rages, which catch the opponent off guard and can lead into multiple attacks that are in a row. His consecutive attacks can not only knock your opponent off balance, but can also lead to ring out capabilities and other things like that. But the lore of Mitsurugi is one of the ones that it's interesting to me because he's seen more throughout Libra of Souls and a lot of those things. But the fact of the matter is that he doesn't really do much or have much added to his character. We pretty much have the Nayateve bring him back from past games where he's so focused on being a warrior that he doesn't know much about the way of the world, such as being streetwise or anything for that nature. He does learn quickly from other people, but the new lore definitely tends to show him in a not so intelligent light. Maybe like he's an idiot savant per se, like he is not that smart, but he's a genius when it comes to battle. This being said, because he mistakes the Noxie for the nunchaku wielding person who was going after him just because he was using a similar weapon, which shows a warrior's mentality where he associates the person with their said arms as opposed to who they are as a person. But during that time of the warring periods in the state of Japan, I can understand why that would be the case, especially for the samurai who were on their last legs at the time and were about to be abolished. So Mitsurugi does have a slightly cool personality. I do like how he is in battle more so than when he's just traveling with people. And usually he doesn't want compatriots. He wants to do things on his own, so he usually is just going about his business so that he can take up mercenary jobs for money whenever the need arises and search for a more powerful weapon, though I don't think he's as entrenched by Soul Edge as some of the other characters are. That being shown because his sword that he uses is nothing completely unique. It's just a standardized curved katana, and that goes to show that he values his techniques and capabilities as a warrior more so than the weapon that he uses as a conduit for that power. But with that being said, guys, we're going to bring this video to a close, and I want to thank you guys for watching, liking, and all that good stuff. And as always, thank you, and thick you.
Hey, what's up, guys? Have you always wanted some sweet Mark Yoon merch? Maybe a Thick You shirt, maybe a shirt from Squirt, maybe my pretty face with my logo all over your body, or a throw pillow, or blanket, or anything? Well, you're in luck, because I just launched my merch store, and it is going to be available on Redbubble, and you will find a link to it in my description box down below. It's got a lot of quality content, and a lot of good stuff for you to pick up, so you can show your support for the channel, and just rep Mark Yoon. Alright, guys, as always, Thick You.